Every single child that I meet, every parent, all the siblings, I see the fear in their eyes. And I was that person at one point, and I know what we went through and how lonely that is. And if I can share my own experience and wrap my arms around them and let them know that it is going to be okay, it may not be the outcome we're looking for, but it is going to be okay. That is why I continue to do what I do. This is no longer, unfortunately, about Cal. It's about all the other children who are diagnosed now, who are diagnosed tomorrow.
Action!
Perfect.
They pulled us into a family room. You never want to be pulled into a family room because you know that they're not going to tell you the greatest stuff. That was probably one of the most difficult days of our lives. And I say probably because we had many other difficult days after that. It seemed like every time the doctor came in, the news got a little bit worse. We're not sure what to tell you. We're not sure what steps to take, but we'll do our best. Finding out that she had relapsed was a little bit more difficult than the initial diagnosis. We already saw what cancer could do, and we already saw what it took to fight it. It was a really devastating call. I think I was in denial a lot longer than the first time, for sure.
I can remember a moment when I realized that Cal was going to pass away. His mom and I were on each side of the bed. He looked at us, he said, I want to be cremated. And it was at that moment I was like, oh, he knows. I'll never forget that. That's one of those things that just sticks in your head. It's hard to get out. And you wish you could forget about it, but yet you don't want to forget about it.
The truth is, no one did anything wrong. It's just, that's what happened.
Cal's Angels first started as a wish granter. And then after our successes through the years with all of our amazing supporters coming together and growing this beyond anything we could ever imagine, we decided to bring on awareness. And then we also decided to bring on research. So our tagline is actually WAR, which is Cal's Angels Goes to War Against Pediatric Cancer. The main mission of Cal's Angels is to grant a $1,000 wish for any child being treated at a Chicagoland hospital with pediatric cancer, as long as we receive the referral first year of diagnosis. We try to do whatever it is that they can come up with within that $1,000 amount. I think it's really important to try to bring back some normalcy and bring back some happiness. It may be only for a moment, but for us, that moment means everything.
You want to turn it up? Play it as loud as you want, man.
Hi, I'm Luke, and we're at APT. That's me. It is the biggest electronics appliance store that you've ever been to. I've been wanting a new TV, and I love APT. So we had asked Cal's Angels if I could do a wish at APT. They handed me an $1,000 gift card to APT.
Got this for you. Luke comes here every weekend, and he just would love to see the inner workings of how the store works. We took him to a lot of places where nobody goes. Took him through our security department.
He's really kind of a tech geek, and to see all those screens and see, oh, I've been there, and to see what goes on behind the scenes. And I think even the wall of bad guys, that was pretty darn cool.
Took him on a full tour of the warehouse where he saw all of our inventory.
My favorite part might have been trying out the virtual reality headset. That was really cool.
Santa Claus came today, showed up for Luke.
I got a new Xbox One S.
It was a great day here at APT for Luke through Cal's Angels, and he needs stuff like this to brighten his days.
I'm really happy that there's an organization like Cal's Angels because they brighten people's lives who are going through a hard time.
I've never been the one that says, oh, it's cancer. So he had a bump and didn't bother him. So we sort of went with it. And then we went to a doctor and it checked out and they were concerned. And then we went to a specialist and they were concerned. And I will tell you, both my husband and I at that point thought I don't know if this is going to end the way we want this to. So Jacob had his bump biopsied on a Wednesday, and we were told we'd know by 2:00 on that Friday. And they still hadn't called by 2, so we came home, and my husband made me leave to get my mind off things. So I went to go get my nails done, and they called while I was at the nail salon. She said, we still don't know what it is, but we think it's worse than we initially anticipated, and you need to go home and get your husband and your son and check yourself into oncology. She's like, they know you're coming. And I literally just dropped.
We go right in there on the front line, and we are not afraid to hug that parent, hug these kids, let them know we are here.
It's just an automatic bond because they genuinely care. Just all-encompassing, like emotional, like we've got you and we can do this, all of us. And that stood out to me.
Cal's Angels encompasses the entire family. We don't just focus on the sick child because we learned firsthand how siblings do become lost on a day-to-day basis, and we do not want anyone ever to feel that way.
The perfect example is Cal's brother saw Cal getting all this stuff from these other organizations that he thought it would be a good idea if he got cancer so he could get all that stuff. And you see that, you go, whoa, it really opened our eyes to the sibling part of it, that the siblings suffer just as much as the kids do.
That is what is just as important as granting that initial wish for the sick child, is continuing to build that relationship with the siblings and make them feel like they are a part of this journey as well, and they are not ever going to be the forgotten ones. We are the only organization that goes to Lurie Children's Hospital once a month for our monthly hospital parties.
They come in and they have this really huge pizza party on the 18th floor, which is the Oncology Infusion Center.
All of the children there get to pick 4 to 5 toys. We allow them to take toys home to their siblings. We want them to be able to go home and give the sibling a gift as well from them.
And then Stacy said, well, go ahead and pick out a toy for your little brother who's at home too. And why don't you guys get one? And the kids, but Jacob's the one who's sick. And she's like, this affects everybody. You guys are part of this too. Go ahead.
I was thinking just like, okay, Jacob's getting toys. We're just gonna stand here and watch him do it. And then Miss Stacy was just like, you can pick a toy too. And I'm like, really? They also let like me and my siblings and pretty much any sibling of a kid that has cancer or just a grown up. They get to be like involved and don't feel left out.
I do remember thinking like, this does affect everybody, and that's so nice that they're remembering that they're there too, and that happens.
Jacob's a big part of it, but we still have to go through stuff. We have to go through the frustrating life of a 4-year-old with leukemia.
Oh, you are so welcome. It's so good to meet you.
I have the most amazing team backing us, and supporters and donors that every day are ready for that fight. So ultimately, we are looking forward to the day where we can say we won that battle. We won the war. So the Fantasy Flight is a program that we partnered with United Airlines, and we send 34 families to the North Pole. The children arrive at Concourse B, and they are given breakfast, and they are able to interact with the Lovables and Benny the Bull and Ronald McDonald, and they get to go to all the different spots. Santa's candy store, Santa's library. They go have a wonderful full turkey lunch.
We have a lot of local children here that are sick, have been in the hospital or going through treatments of some sort, and so we bring them to the North Pole to have a good day and not have to think about those things.
They board the plane. Even their boarding pass says right on it to the North Pole, which is so exciting to them that they're flying to the North Pole. The memory that you're able to build for these families goes so far beyond just that day.
Once again, welcome aboard United's Flight 2132 with service to the North Pole.
It means a lot to our family. It makes us forget, for one day at least, the problems and all the stuff that the family has to go through.
They go straight to the North Pole, and when they land, they all get to interact with Santa And Mrs. Claus, they get one-on-one time with them to let them know what their individual wishes are.
I brought my daughter Charlotte today. This is Charlotte. Yeah, the stress is definitely being relieved right now, just being able to see a smile on her face. And I hope that she can just know that she has support, even though she's going through such a hard time, and that she can have fun.
They all leave with a Santa bag filled with items.
So the gifts that we give them at the end are huge Santa bags. We get a list of their stuff that they want. So the toys in the Santa sleigh bags for each child is personalized to them.
We're here for the kids. They may not have another chance to come back and see Santa Claus, and we're here to make sure that they do at least once get a shot at it.
Hats off to the United employees because they do such an amazing job from start to finish to make sure that it encompasses the entire family. Cal's life was cut so much shorter than any of us could have even imagined, but he inspired us to want to do something to give back. But it's truly the supporters and the donors and all of our sponsors that allow us to be able to do the things that we are able to do on a daily basis.
Even in the midst of a really difficult situation, it's possible to have joy. It's important to have joy. The joy is what spurs on the hope, is what spurs on the fight. It all goes hand in hand, and a child is a child. They really need that component of fun for them to have that will to fight and to keep going. And, and for the children that, God bless them, are maybe going through a really difficult time, the provision of the quality of life, giving them something that they could treasure, hold on to as a family, that's gold. That's not even something you can measure in any kind of currency. It's priceless.
Sent Wednesday, August 16th at 9:59 p.m.
This is Cal. I'm calling to say goodnight. Love you. Okay, bye.
End of message.